Hi, this is Larry Kirkenbauer from Excalibur Advisors. I'd just like to take you down a little deeper into the executive dashboard that you read about in my newsletter, because I think this is a great one-page tool to keep everything that's important to us top of mind. We're all traveling, we're all busy, we're all running from place to place. This is a great reference point to come back on any given day and say, what exactly have I missed that I really deemed to be important that week that I just want to be reminded of. And invariably, every day that I've pulled this out, I've found something on there that I would have forgotten that I really wanted to do that day, somebody I wanted to call, an event I needed to attend. So I found it to be a very valuable tool, particularly as busy as we are, as just a quick reference point. So let me just take you a little deeper and to show you how I've constructed this, and you can take these ideas and certainly modify them any way that works best for you. So the dashboard is sort of the centerpiece, and around it is based a number of things. Now I've started by including the personal things in here. Some of the things that could be particularly personal or some things related to the family. Whether it's an extended family or some projects or some issues you're working on, could be anything that you just want to keep your attention on. If you have children, I think this is really great because if you have more than one child, there's always something going on, whether it's a swimming meet, a soccer thing, or a concert at school. It's a great way to keep track of your children. It's a great way to keep track of your health, just to make sure that there's any medications or doctor's appointments or things that you don't want to overlook and you're in a rush, you can dive in here real quick and see it. I like to keep something on friends' issues for friends who are sick or having particular challenges, so I'm reminded every time I've got a spare minute to look at this to give them a call. It's a good place. You can also keep track of some of your personal finance information and some things you want to keep your mind on, whether it's a tax return or you've got a major project refinancing your mortgage or something like that. I also think it's a great place to keep travel things. So if you're on point to develop some vacation plans or organize a trip for the family to the Giants game, or you want to get tickets to the theater, you can build this out just to remind yourself, oh boy, I really need to stop here a second and call about getting tickets for the theater. I promise I'd take my wife next week. Anything like that, when you've got a spare minute, this is just a great reference tool. It's also a great place you can keep track of personal organizations you're involved in, whether it's your softball team or your neighborhood group. Just again, another reminder that one more thing in your life and a sort of category you want to keep some focus on. And there's just an other category that you could put anything you'd like in there. Then there's the business section. I think it's great to put your company logo on here. For me, it's just a great visual reminder of where to look for things on my professional world. The calls at the top you'll see we'll come back to. The CEO role, whatever your role is, this is a good place to kind of remind yourself of some of the key things you need to be paying attention to. I've taken the liberty here of inserting those things that only the CEO can do as a great refresher. I then like to have sort of the direct reports and employees on here. All the people who directly report to you, who they are and what their role is, and what some of the top initiatives are that you know you're working on together, that in the midst of being overwhelmed and busy, you can remember to call them about that to see how that's going. Likewise for employees, this is not to include every employee, but the employees where there's some particular issue. A promotion's in mind, you want to meet with them about something specific, you want to thank them for something specific. Once again, you pull out this one page, you're driving down the road, or not supposed to be talking on the phone, I guess then, but you just got a spare moment, you look down and go, oh, that's right, I promised to call John today about that employee matter. So once again, just a high-level reference for those kinds of things that are important. Likewise, clients and prospects, I find this very valuable, and I think you will too. If you've got a couple of top clients where you've got some major things going on, again, it just keeps it in mind. Likewise for prospects, one more way to sort of organize your thinking about those things. External things are sometimes easy to overlook and forget, sort of out of sight, out of mind. So this is kind of a handy checklist to make sure that things that are going on with your bank, your accountant, your attorney, you're somebody outside the firm, and some of the things you're working on. One more refresher to remind you to pay attention to that. Likewise for projects that you may want to choose to put in there. You'll see I've got a bank reporting project that could be attached to your bank, or it could be a separate project, whatever works best for you. I've also got a section on here for reports, for those that you get daily, weekly, or periodically. Just a reminder for you to either look at them, or if you don't get them, to remind you that you should be getting them so you can look at them. So these are the kinds of things that only you know what you want to look at and make sure you don't overlook. This is a great place to remind yourself about that. And likewise, meetings. You certainly have a calendar that will remind you of your meetings, but this is really a way to keep track of higher level meetings where you know you've got things you need to do for those meetings and you want to pay attention to them, and maybe somebody you need to call before the meeting. Just a handy way to, again, just capture the big things that you can't overlook in the midst of all your other activities. I also include events on here. They could be upcoming webinars or meetings or any kind of conference I just want to keep in mind. Other activity, again, just a placeholder for other things that might be helpful to you. Professional organizations, I kind of include here all the ones I'm a member of. It reminds me to think about what's going on with those organizations. It triggers my memory about people I should be calling related to it or duties I may have associated with it. So the calls, I just saved these to the end. I put them at the top of mine. I mean, we've all got call lists that are probably longer than we'll ever get to in a given day. But there's always a handful during a week that you really can't afford to miss. An important customer you promised you'd call, an important employee who's just had a baby, you can't forget to call them. These are just a place, again, if you're busy, you can't get your to-do list, you're gone for 2 days to a conference, here's the top things that you won't forget. So that's it in a nutshell. That's the overall dashboard. I hope you find this a valuable tool. I would encourage you to think about using a tool like this in the way I've described it. Use these ideas as you see fit. If there's anything I can do to help you think about this or drill down deeper and share with you how I've made it work for me, don't hesitate to give me a call. I'd be delighted to talk to you about it. We're also working very hard to provide great practical resources to the small business and middle market business community. So I hope you'll join us at Excalibur.com. I hope you'll subscribe to our Sword Tips blog where you can have all of our materials, podcasts, and videos sent directly into your inbox. And I hope you'll join the conversation and participate in our growing community.